Hey, good day, everyone. So, a couple of my patrons on the what is that thing called? The poll said they'd be quite interested to hear some insights in my writing process and how I go about actually putting poems together, kind of what's going on in my head. And when I first read that, I was like, yeah, that's going to be pretty hard to answer because it's different every single time. But what I have realized is that there are some very powerful consistencies that run through the whole process. The first thing is that I read a lot, and I'm always watching interesting movies, documentaries, reading articles on places like LinkedIn and Medium, that deal with issues, actual stuff that's going on in our world. So there's always a fair amount of material buzzing around in my head that I'm thinking about. And the second thing is that I'm generally having a conversation with someone about those ideas or those issues, be that my girlfriend or a good friend, or even just in a thread on social media. So what that means is that there's this kind of ebb and flow of things to do with, politics, identity, economy, the environment that is at play in my head quite a large amount of time during my day. What then seems to happen is that I go to bed or I go and do something else, and of course that moves over into the right brain, sort of slow percolation department. And slowly, my unconscious attention is working and reworking that. And then later on, in a quiet time in the morning when I'm trying to write, or if I'm having a shower or I've been for a run, these connections start to emerge. And that's where a lot of my poems come from. Sometimes it's just a line, just an idea that is even badly expressed potentially. I just quickly dash that down, and then I'll come back later and flesh it out and work it and rework it and think about the connections. The other important thing is, of course, that I studied literature for nearly 4 years at university. So I've read a lot of poetry, and what I'm often doing is working, reworking, being inspired by existing canon, by the Romantic poets, by Shakespeare, by sonnets or what have you. Of course, I don't write like that at all, but I kind of make these references to some of those sorts of styles. So yeah, that's it loosely. Of course, some days there's more and sometimes there's less than that going on. But yeah, that's my poetry writing process in a generalized nutshell. Now, enjoy your week.